caring about getting dressed every day and how you show up and how you present yourself to the world really does matter. So you do need to have clothes that fit you, that you feel good in, and that really just bring you joy and make you feel great every day. Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Liz, and today I wanted to share with you 10 real life tips on how to build a timeless wardrobe. Stop mindlessly shopping, stop getting things that you really aren't going to use, and just really curating a closet that you love, that you can work within for years and years to come. So some of my tips you may have heard before, and some I think are going to be a little different. So if you're interested to hear what they are, then just keep watching. All right, and before we even get started, I wanted to throw in a bonus tip right up front. So this is not one of the 10, but a great tip is something that you're doing right now, and that is to watch YouTube videos, to maybe see women who've kind of went through this path. I think that's always a great thing, right? There's so many examples of how to do things, what did and didn't work for others. And you can definitely save a lot of time and money by just getting some information, some tips and tricks from others who've maybe gone down that path. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't venture into your own way and blaze your own trail. Of course you can. I personally like to gather lots of information and then choose my path, which may or may not include some tips and advice from others. All right, so tip number 1 is going to be aware of a color palette that flatters you. So regardless of what the color of the season or color of the year or whatever is trending, you really have to know what resonates with you and for the time in your life. For instance, when I was younger, I wore a lot more black. And as I've gotten older, I still can wear it. As you get older, it can wash you out. Also, I really love wearing a lot of white these days. But when my 4 kids were little, I couldn't dream of wearing white. Really being aware of the colors that flatter you and that you love and that you feel good in. So you could always incorporate whatever trend is going on at a small percentage just to stay updated and modern, but you can always stay true to the colors that most flatter you and work well in your life and for your style. All right, and tip number 2, I know a lot about, and that is to wear clothes or have clothes in your active closet that fit you now. So I have, over the last 20 years, I have been an array of sizes. And I'm not talking about when I was pregnant or right after. Anyway, like I have gained and lost weight. I've been on I've tried different fad diets and this and that, and really had a lot of weight fluctuations over, the last 20 years. And so this is something I am very aware of. And I do know the feeling when you have a nice wardrobe of clothes at a size that doesn't fit you. Now for me, that was like 30 pairs of jeans that just didn't fit me anymore. Each of them costing, $100 to $200. I know you don't want to give them away. So some things you can do if you think you will be that size again. What I do is I'll fold them all up and put them in the back of my closet or in a bin. I actually like to utilize the under the bed bins, and those are great to keep a size that maybe you'll go into, but having 2 or 3 sizes different pants in your closet, 1 is depressing, and 2 is taking up space. It makes you feel unorganized. It's overwhelming, and it's just not, I just don't even think it's good really for your mental health. So getting items that fit you is key. And I actually did a video recently on how to dress for weight fluctuations. So I'll go ahead and link that below and you can watch that next as well. And really just having a working closet if you know that you're going to have weight fluctuations for whatever reason. Maybe you did recently have a child. Maybe you recently had an injury. Maybe you're just going through a time. Whatever the case may be, sometimes we do know that the weight gain is temporary for whatever reason, and we will get back to that weight. And sometimes you have to just let it go. My size, which is generally about an 8 to 10 US size now, but when I graduated high school, I was a size 4. And so I've been the sizes in between there and bigger up to 14, 16. So I am very aware of weight fluctuations, and really you're going to feel better if you're dressing for your weight now. And if you don't want to invest a whole lot in a wardrobe, check out that video on how to dress in the interim if it is more of a short-term thing. All right, and tip number 3 is going to be along the lines of the one in, one out. To me, that is just too much pressure. It is too much pressure to bring one item in and get rid of one, because I think you need time to see how it works within your closet. So I'm not a fan of the one in, one out rule. Even as a minimalist, even when I was a minimalist, what I do instead is, because you can't just keep collecting and collecting things and clothes. That can turn into an overwhelming situation. What I do is always just do a deep closet or wardrobe clean out twice a year. And I don't do it before. I do it once I'm in the season. Then I will decide at that time is when you do that closet clean out, hanging everything the wrong way. So I'll hang everything on the hanger, kind of backward. And then as I use it, it goes the right way. That way, when I go back to that season of clean out, then I know what I haven't worn. Now, if something is, really sentimental or costs a lot, it can maybe take 2 seasons to get it out of your closet, and that's okay. That's okay. I feel like if you are just actively trying and doing something, you're gonna have a cleaner, more organized closet. I remember years ago when I would just shove clothes in there, and I would have so much stuff I didn't even know really what I had, and that can be overwhelming. So definitely having everything you use, actively use, out where you can see it is great, or in an organized manner. So if you fold all your jeans, put them away in an organized manner so you can see maybe all the shades, or group them together. Maybe you have your boot cut and your wide leg and your skinnies. In some kind of organized manner, you will be fine and you won't go too overboard, because I do feel having too much stuff, you end up really not using a lot of it, which is just real wasteful. Maybe a bit controversial, but hear me out. And that is the myth of sustainability, or I should say sustainability. If you take a deep dive and look further, look behind the curtain of what's really going on, you will see that it is nearly impossible. And honestly, every company's goal is to make money. Bottom line, they would not go into business if they couldn't make money, because, they wouldn't even survive. So it has to be their number one goal. Now, I see the intention of some of the companies. I do acknowledge that. And this could be said about a lot of things, right? I do like to support sustainable companies. I do like to buy organic food, and you can talk to some smaller farmers and growers and see their opinions on the organic industry. And I would say the fashion industry, it kind of has the same myth or illusion. There's actually a really great article from Harvard Business that I had read that really explains this a little bit better, a little more in depth. So if you're interested to read what I'm trying to portray a little more, I would encourage you to do so. I'll go ahead and link that article down below as well. Really, producing more and producing at a small level isn't sustainable. It isn't really doing what the intended result is. A lot of the packaging and whatnot, I mean, it's a rabbit hole. I actually learned about this many years ago. I have seen the backside of some of the trade industry. I have attempted different business ventures in fashion and Amazon selling and different things like that. So I've actually dealt with trade in other countries. And it is very interesting, the entire industry. I think that this is just pushed so hard, and it makes a lot of ladies feel bad to shop at Walmart or Amazon or wear polyester or this and that. And I think if you are getting clothes you love, clothes that you can afford, but that you're gonna actually wear, then that is just as good. Don't get hung up on these buzzwords. Really, the fashion industry's goal is to sell, sell, sell. Just purchasing things that you love, taking care of them, getting longevity out of them, wherever you get them from, is the most eco-friendly thing that you can do. And tip number 5 is going to be purchase fabrics and pieces that feel good to you, that work within your lifestyle and time in your life. Now, I'll explain a little further. Again, there is a push for natural fibers, which I love. Cotton, silk, wool, cashmere, I would say is probably about 60% of my closet. So I love them. I have time now in my life that half of my kids are grown to maintain them. They do take more work. When I was younger, I didn't have time to iron. I didn't have time to steam. I didn't have time to separate delicates and linens and hand wash silks and all of these things. And you may not even want to do that. Now I find that stuff kind of therapeutic, and I enjoy popping on YouTube and doing whatever I need to do. So I actually like doing that, and I don't mind it at all. But I realize some women don't want to iron or steam or worry about that in any manner. And all of the natural fibers do wrinkle. They do need a little more care and love. So you may need to get a blend. You may need to get a man-made fiber, and that's okay. If it's something that works within your wardrobe and it's something that you love and wear and feels good on you, then that's okay. Don't feel bad that all of your stuff isn't 100% cotton. Which that leads me into tip 6. That is, I hear a lot of the fashion gurus say, you know, if you love something, get it in all the colors, you know, like a short in like, you know, 4 different colors, a top in 4 different colors of the same item. I'm not really for that specifically. One, I like variety, and I guess my color palette is smaller, and since I have gone through minimalism, I do like to have a variety of different items. So for instance, instead of having the exact same tank top in, you know, 6 different colors, I'd prefer to have a tank top in a certain shade in 4 different fabrics. For instance, these are on different color hangers, by the way, because I hang things that need to be washed differently on different hangers, so I don't throw them in with all my regular stuff. So for instance, these are all, I would say, cream, tan, beige, but they're all tank tops in the same kind of shade. And I love this silk top with the buttons. So instead of me getting this in off-white and black and red and blue, I don't do that. I do everything different so that I have variation. So if I'm wearing black trousers and I want a cream colored tank top, well, I have maybe a silk top with some buttons. So that's going to give a more classy, dressed up vibe. I also have a striped 100% linen top, which is going to give a more relaxed vibe and is real airy for a hot day. And then I would like to have a thicker strapped, maybe satin cami for maybe running errands or going to work under a blazer. And then of course a silk top without buttons, which gives a little different vibe as well. So to summarize tip 6, think a little bit along the lines of minimalism, where you don't really need the exact same item in every different color. Have some variety. That will give you more flexibility in your closet for styling, for looks, for feels, and save space, I would say. So tip number 6 is try to get variety. All right, tip number 7 is to just be aware that we all go through phases. So that is okay. You do not have to buy something when you're 25 or 35 and think that you're going to keep it for 20 or 30 years. I guess it'd be great if you did, but I think that that's pretty rare, and I don't think putting that kind of pressure on yourself is good or healthy. So we all do go through phases, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to learn and grow and change, and you can only do so much at certain points, right? In my 20s, there's no way I could have afforded some of the things that I purchase now. And it was also a very different time in my life. I was starting out in my career. I had small children. There was just a lot going on, and that's okay. In my 30s, I was more successful, and I went through huge consumerism. I just like bought, shopped all the time. I am a shopaholic. I still shop more than I should, but more mindfully now. And then in my later 30s, I just got so overwhelmed, and really I would say went to a minimalist approach. I had only a couple jeans, only a couple trousers, only a couple top sweaters, and probably 2 jackets. I was so far one way that I went all the way to the other way. And really, isn't that life? Balance is key. I think being all one thing, all the other, I mean, first of all, most of us are not. And so you kind of have to find your happy place in the middle. And I found being minimalistic just as stressful as being over consuming because events would come up, things would come up, and I just didn't have things that I needed to go to. I would say in my later 30s, around 40, that's really when I learned from all my past mistakes on things that were really important to me, like what I would really wear, what I would really love, and working within styles and color palettes that suited me and things that could last longer than a season or a year. Now, buying the trends and fun stuff is fun, and you should do it. I mean, you can't be super boring or plain. I even have a 10% of my wardrobe that is like maybe a few crazy things that maybe I don't wear all the time. And that's fun to do as well, but you do want to keep it a minimal part of your wardrobe because you don't want to be wasteful. You do want to use the stuff that you have. So that's kind of a good balance I have found. And tip number 8, practically speaking, I think it's probably the most important. And that is when you are going to purchase something, think of at least 3 different ways that you can wear it, or 3 different situations where you would wear it. I read somewhere or heard somewhere that most people use 10% of their closet 90% of the time, which I think is crazy. That is why many ladies feel like they can't get dressed. That means that you have all these clothes and you're picking like the same 10 or 20 items over and over and over. And I just think how, well, it's sad and wasteful and boring to just wear the same. So you're almost like having a bunch of stuff, but living like a minimalist. It's very strange to me, but I hear it is the common way. So this is probably you. So be mindful. And this is really where all these other tips kind of play into this, is you really have to be mindful of your lifestyle, what you love, what makes you feel good, stuff you're actually wearing. So for instance, if you were going to get a new sweater, maybe make it one that you can wear on the weekends, that you can wear to work, that you can dress up for an evening out or layer or something like that. If you're getting a new dress, maybe make sure that maybe it can be a cute shirt dress that you can wear with a belt, but maybe it could be also a beach cover up. Maybe it can transition into an evening look or, wedding guest or something like that. So maybe having different shoes and accessories that could go to style that dress a few different ways is going to make it more versatile. And really that's going to, I think that is a really good tip, is just being able to style one thing at least 3 different ways. And you don't want to get something that you need to buy a new person shoes for. That isn't what I'm pushing. So bringing an item into your wardrobe that is going to work cohesively with the rest of your wardrobe. And if you start doing that over time, you will curate a wardrobe that works really well together, and you'll be able to pick 2 or 3 things and put them together, and you don't look frumpy, you don't look dated, you look stylish, you look elevated, and it's fun. It's fun to have too many good choices than only 10% of choices. All right, I have another controversial one for you, or it may be, and that is, I have seen this trend, and I've actually talked to some people close to me in my life about this. I don't know where they saw or heard it. I am obviously in this space, so I have heard of it, and it is fun. So that is the push or trend of defining your style in 3 words. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I think it is good to do, to loosely define your style in that manner. But I do not think ultimately it is helpful. First of all, I don't like being boxed in labels. There is, it's very interesting. I don't know when it happened, but it seems that there is this huge push to be defined in who you are and what you like. And that is so odd to me, because I didn't grow up that way. It never was that way. And now everybody wants to proclaim who they are. And that is strange, because we're always changing and we're so many things. Like how can you do that? So again, going back to the beginning of this one, talking with some people close to me, they were trying to do this and press themselves. Well, my style is, boho, but I want to have some nice trousers. I want to have a fancy dress. I like to wear, my coastal vibe things or whatever, or my moto jacket or my boots or whatever it is. And you can do it all. You can do it all. You don't have to be one thing. I would say my style is like classic, timeless, and comfy. But what does that really mean? On the weekends, I might want to wear a boho dress. And then all week at work, maybe I'm in a trouser and blazer. And then in maybe some weekends in athletic wear, or maybe, coastal grandma or coastal cowgirl, or, a moto vibe. And fashion is supposed to be fun. And while you do, I think all the other tips are going to really hone in and curate your wardrobe. That will keep it a little tighter knit, so you're not all over the place. But you don't have to just confine yourself in fashion or in life to just a few rolls, a few likes that you like right now. Everybody's ever evolving and changing, and that's good. And people liking different things is good, and that's okay. And you can change your mind, and all of that is fine. Don't get stressed out and try to confine yourself with your style and wardrobe. All right, and if you made it this far and you've enjoyed this content or it's helped you in any way, I sure would appreciate it if you would give me a like. That will push it out to more people who hopefully it will help as well. And so number 10 is kind of near and dear to my heart. So tip number 10 is to be grateful. And it seems like a simple saying and a simple way to be. And I think when I tell people this, everybody thinks that they're grateful, right? But I will tell you that I was never truly happy until I was truly grateful. And it's being grateful for just little things. Like when you can find that joy in your everyday life, in everyday things, that is happiness. Just seeing a new flower bloom, enjoying, the smell of your tea, enjoying the color of the sky. There are just little things in life. And if you can really learn to just find joy and be really, really grateful to see, to experience, to have these things near and around you, I think that is the key to happiness. It's funny, like everyone has their point of view and that is mine. And when you are grateful for who you are, how you were made, those around you, just all the little things together, that kind of makes everything else fall into place. So that gives you, I think, a joy that radiates, number one, a positivity in life, and also a confidence, which I think goes with style and fashion, is being confident. You or me may not be in the best shape, may not have the best hair, the best skin, or whatever, but if you're happy with who you are, you're gonna feel grateful for whatever your situation. And I think just reminding yourself of that gives you a confidence of who you are. So maybe you aren't the tallest or most beautiful or thinnest or most successful or this or that, but if you're grateful for who you are, what you have, which you can find joy in, I think it is just a pleasure and a gift to even wake up every day. So it really is important to have that self-confidence and mental wellness in yourself, which is another thing. I think that how you dress and how you show up every day does matter on your mental health, does matter on your emotions. So those days, even when I feel like a little that's the day I'm gonna do my makeup more, put on a dress that I love, because that can elevate you. You really have to pull yourself up as much as possible whenever you can. And life is long if we're lucky. And every day is a new day to do that. So I hope that these tips helped you. That was my intention. It is always my intention to help. I don't want to, hurt anyone or trigger anyone. These are just real things that I think about and that I hope help others, and hopefully it helped you. So if you enjoyed this content, I sure would love to have you come back and visit me again. If you haven't seen my how to start or restart a wardrobe, so if you're just getting started with this, I'll go ahead and link that video next below as well. Some great tips there, but really just subscribe. I always have new ideas and inspiration that I want to share with you ladies, and I love that you come by to visit my channel and when you comment. So I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.